Hey, I just want to thank the government right now. You guys pitched in 40% on the purchase of my brand new Apocalypse. That is so kind, that is so nice, you guys. I'm just being a little cheeky because guess what? Turns out that when you financially succeed in life, the government is like a big hairy ape on your back that says, I want 40% of all your winnings. Nom, 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 nom. So it turns out you want to become an expert at how to give the government their fair share while making sure that you're not giving more than you should. Today's video I'm going to share with you, after investigating all the ways, the 3 biggest way to reduce that tax bill.
One shot, not a future for sure. Let's go. I'm turning dreams into reality. Yeah, it's one shot, not a future for sure. Let's go.
Government's like my secret business partner. They want half of all I make. It's kind of like a divorce that's gone bad, and I have to just write the check of what I make. No, government wants my money. So I gotta be really smart to make sure I don't give them more alimony than I'm supposed to. All right, check it out. Today we're talking about the 3 biggest ways to reduce taxes. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I've hired some of the finest experts on the planet, because when you owe the government millions of dollars, it's your responsibility to make sure that you're really truly paying your fair share. And what is that? Well, it means that if you understand the tax code, you should know all the different ways of reducing your taxes, and then afterwards, pay what you're supposed to. Because guess what? Government wants 40%. If you're not using any tax strategy efficiency planning, that's 40%. They want that. And then wherever state you live, I live in Utah. Utah wants 5% on top of that. That's 45%. That's basically half of every dollar of profit that comes in that could go in my piggy bank. And so at the end of the day, I do believe you should pay the goose that lays the golden egg. I love the opportunity. I love the freedom that affords me the opportunity to earn well. And at this point, I've got to also be really, really strategic, because I'm building a financial legacy. And I want to give the government and render unto them what's theirs, but everything else, I want to put it towards my financial design. So today I'm going to share with you, of everything I've learned, the 3 most important tax reduction strategies. Dude, let's jump right in.
Go!
Number 1, you should start a business. As in, start up that LLC, fire things up, because most people don't understand that owning your own business is how you unlock 250 tax deductions. Like all of a sudden it's like, well, I ate this food and that was part of a business meeting, and then I got in my car and of course the business is paying for a part of that, maybe all of that. And then I've got my cell phone for communicating and doing my business, and then, a part of my house I actually use as a home office, all my marketing expenses and other things that I need. All of a sudden you start having the ability to legitimize all sorts of expenses. And this is kind of a cool thing. Like, the government is going to tax you. The more successful you are, you're going to have to pay. But first, they're going to make sure that you get all of the benefits that can reduce that taxable income. 250 is a big number. That is something that you should explore and become very familiar with. For example, a car or truck expenses, like that Apocalypse that I was showing you out there. Section 179 code of the government says that as long as the vehicle is over 6,000 pounds and has a bed longer than 6 feet, as in 6 feet 1 inches and beyond, guess what? You can actually write that off up to 100% of it if you're using it for business, and you can write it off all in the first year. Turns out that I customized that vehicle, added some weight. I added 2 more wheels, so it has 6. It's called a 6x6. And I also took the 4-foot bed truck of the original Gladiator and I extended it to 7 feet. Now I meet all of the demands and it's dedicated for my business. So that's $250,000 that goes against my income. You also get to deduct salaries and wages, contract labor, supplies, depreciation. We're going to talk more about that. Like, do I buy real estate, a commercial building, or literally this table? It's not going to live forever, so I can actually depreciate this table over a period of time. This couch, the springs are going to wear out. That lamp may not work forever. This TV is going to be obsolete in a number of years. I get to deduct rent on business property, my utilities, other taxes, insurance, repairs, commissions and fees, travel, advertising, home office. Dude, I was just in Mexico last week. I'm a little bit tanner, maybe a little bit redder. And guess what? I kept track of all of my expenses. I sent them to my accountants. I talked about what was personal, private, and what was actually used for business. Guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna inform to the government that this part of the trip I can legitimize was actually for business, and I have to document that. On top of that, my home office, legal and accounting fees, meals, rental on machinery and equipment. This is just the beginning. So one of the things that you want to do is have a business, even if it's a simple side business, even if you work for somebody else, start a business, have a side hustle. By the way, it's smart to have multiple streams of income, as in like the average millionaire has 7 streams of income, not one from just working at a job. You should plan on having those other streams of income so that you can, yes, have more money, but you can also legitimize all of these write-offs. Number 2 on this list, real estate. And when I say real estate, I mean all kinds of real estate. Check this out. The United States government is interested in offering tax incentives for those investing in real estate because they don't want their citizens to be homeless. While most of the benefits don't apply for your own home, there are a myriad of benefits to be obtained from purchasing an investment property. Let me give you 2 scenarios right now. Scenario A, I'm buying an investment property that I'm just going to rent out to somebody else. It is a $250,000 home. And yes, there are still many places in the United States where you can buy a house for under $250,000. When you buy this house, the government says, well, guess what? The house is going to break down and dilapidate. The roof's going to need to get redone. The kitchen's going to wear out, the flooring, the paint. Eventually, you're going to have to replace a lot of this house. They say that you can write off the house over 27.5 years. Well, $250,000 divided by 27.5 years means that every year you get to take an average of a $9,000 deduction. Now, that means a couple of things like, hey, I rented this out. I make $500 a month of positive cash flow. Wait, $500 a month for 12 months? Shoot, Kris, I made $6,000 of brand new income because I rented out this property. And I got news for you. You don't have to pay taxes on that $6,000 because you have a total of $9,000 you get to write off. So the $6,000 of new income, a new stream of income, you don't pay taxes on. There's still $3,000 that's left over from this $9,000. What do you get to write that off of? Dude, your income. Let's say you make $50,000 a year. Now on paper, to the government, you don't make $50,000. You now make $47,000. Do you get it? Now all of a sudden you're going to be taxed on $47,000, not $50,000, and your other $6,000 of new income, you don't owe any taxes on. Can you imagine if you owned 10 houses? Wait 1 second. If I own 10 houses and I 10 times this, then my $6,000 of new income is actually $60,000 a year more than my income. But remember, there's also $3,000 left over, 10 times that, and there's another $30,000 a year in write-offs. Now I want you to look at this. You still have your $50,000 a year job. So I'm making 50 grand there, but I get to cancel 30,000 of it, and I have 60 other thousand. That's like literally making $110,000 a year, and the government says, you're only making 20,000. And when you get taxed on 20,000, you're at the poverty level, so you're pretty much going to owe like nothing in taxes. Hello, welcome to Why Real Estate Makes Sense All Day Long.
I can do this all day.
Okay, let's do scenario B. Hey, Kris, I actually own a business. It's been growing, and I need to buy a $3 million office building. If you are going to use, check this out, you're going to love this. If you're going to use at least 51% of the building for yourself, the SBA, the government division loan arm, will come in and say, yo, we will actually give you a loan up to 90%. So now you are out of pocket $300,000. You can borrow that from someone else. It doesn't have to come out of your pocket. And that $300,000, you now have this $3 million building. And guess what you can do? You can do an accelerated depreciation and write around 35% of that off in the first year. 35% of $3 million, that's $1 million.
$1 million.
And if you're at a 35% tax bracket, that's going to save you $350,000 you owe the government. Wait a second. My savings are bigger than my down payment, cancels out my down payment. Even if I borrow my down payment, I'm literally buying a $7 million office building right now to create this exact advantage in my life. So yes, there's a reason why 90% of all millionaires made it or store their money in the game of real estate. It's simply because it's one of the most tax advantaged, efficient things you can do. Now, that's not it. There's other deductions as well. In fact, there's 5 more that you should be aware of. And don't forget that real estate is in and of itself a business. So the other 250 tax deductions, those apply as well. Check this out. You do get to deduct your expenses like we talked about with owning a business. You get to depreciate your costs over time that I just illustrated. But you see, you're also taxed at a different rate. Capital gains tax on real estate long-term are less than regular income. That's a benefit. And then you don't have to pay your taxes. You can do what's called a 1031 exchange. It means that, well, I own this real estate for 5 years, and when I sold it, I rolled my gains into another property. And as a result, I don't have to pay taxes. I'm just deferring it for another time. By the way, wealthy people just keep deferring indefinitely and they never have to pay their taxes. And then finally, number 5, you can also become a real estate professional. And all this does is when you're classified as a professional, you can watch one of my other videos about it, it unlocks all new massive tax savings because that's how you earn your real estate income. Now, this third one might throw you for a little bit of a loop. Whole life insurance. Say what? Whole life insurance provides permanent death benefit coverage for the life of the insured, but in addition to paying a death benefit, whole life insurance also contains a savings component in which cash value may accumulate on a tax-advantaged, even tax-free basis. These policies may be known as traditional life insurance policies, but I'm going to show you some cool things that most people don't know. So follow me. If I decide to put money in a life insurance policy, let's just call it $11,000 a month. That would be a total of $12,000 a year. This $12,000, I want you to understand, is actually earning a guaranteed rate somewhere around 4%. That's dedicated by contract and state law. And there's usually a dividend somewhere between 1, 2, or 3%. Let's call it 2%. So I have 6% growth on this money. This 6%, it grows tax-free. But then I can actually borrow the money out of the policy for maybe a few percent. I still get to earn the 6% as if it's still there. And what I'm really doing is using it to invest in real estate, invest in a business. I'm investing in growing my wealth. But guess what I did? I spent a year building a tax pit of $12,000. It's empty. When my gains come in, I can put it right back and have it tax sheltered at 6%, waiting to be deployed again. Well, fast forward 5 years. Let's say this was the only policy I ever started. Well, take a look, $12,000 over 5 years, that's now a $60,000 tax pit, meaning if I pull the 60 out and I use it to invest in business and real estate, then when my money comes back, I've got a tax shelter for it where it can grow tax-free. And I'm going to tell you right now, very, very successful people, millionaires, have multiple policies just like this. I dump multiple 6 figures every year into policies just like this. And guess why I'm doing it? Because when the money comes home, I need a safe place to stash it.
This is it. This is what you've been working for.
There are, of course, other tax benefits. For example, the death benefit is generally paid out income tax free. The total cash value accumulates, like I said, on a tax deferred basis, including interest and dividends, and you can access the cash value of the policy on a tax advantage basis. So when you start adding all this up, it's no wonder that this is a tool that not only wealthy people use, but people like me that started out with nothing. If you've enjoyed today's video, I'm going to tell you right now, this is just the beginning of building a comprehensive financial game plan that will, 1, help you become financially free, but 2, make sure you do it on a tax-deferred basis as smart as possible throughout the journey. If you want a custom game plan, if you want to know what I would do if I was exactly in your shoes, I've trained a small team of people that act on my behalf and will show you exactly what I would do if I were in your shoes. There's a link below and you can request a free game plan. Just answer some questions. My team will reach out to you and I will show you exactly what I would do. If you want the best and smartest game plan, then you've got to get it from people that already are where you want to go. And if you're a subscriber on my channel, if you love all the knowledge that I drop on you, click the link below. Let me show you how to get started with a real game plan. You know, it's kind of crazy. Everyone's always looking for like a 30-year mortgage, but there's a really good chance that 40-year mortgages are going to become more and more popular. And if I had the choice, I would do a 40-year mortgage every single time over a 30-year mortgage. And if you want to know why, well, It's because it'll make you tons and tons and tons of money. You want to see how? Click this video and let me show you right now.